for the rest of your goddamn life. I swear to God. And with that note, welcome to the Forum Thread Podcast, episode 151. Today with me we have the crowd favorite, Chaos Mana.
Hello.
The smart-ass, sassy-ass Seawin, 90.
It's a lot of asses, and what's up?
And our beautifully handsome artist, Birdman, 84, a.k.a. Chris.
I mean, you're putting me on a high pedestal, so drop it down a little bit.
Gotcha. Above average looking Chris.
There we go.
Perfect. So...
Can I be put on that high pedestal that he did not want to be put on?
Look,
no,
you're
it's
already
still
senpai.
reserved for me, but I just can't be up there right now.
I see.
Gotcha. I mean, it's a thing. It takes some time, See, when I've always seen you as someone I care about on a mentor level for League anyway. But don't worry about it. It's fine. So our first topic of discussion is some little tech news here that I found interesting. Is Sony's Xperia project is turning all surfaces into like an interactive display so that you can check the temperature, maybe use a projection of light as a keyboard like in those fancy sci-fi movies. How do you guys feel about that?
I think it's the future, and I want it.
Yeah, right?
Give me 7 of them.
Give me...
Only 7.
Only 7. 7...
Is that going to be like something that's super expensive, or is it just something they kind of discovered making?
Well, it's in the concept phases right now. So it's probably for developers or for like beta testers super expensive, but I'm sure as it goes out of developmental stage, it'll get less and less expensive.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not really a new technology overall. Like, Sony's not the first person to make it. I've seen videos of like Microsoft R&D doing stuff like this like 5-10 years ago. So now I just think the parts are getting cheaper to a point where they can probably make some of these things that they can actually sell to mass market consumers at a certain point.
Yeah, it seems like Sony's gotten to a point where it's like it's become more versatile. Like, it's not on a particular pad or like peripheral. It's not just on any surface. So maybe that's the next step in tech, is just like it probably won't even be like a bendable or foldable smartphone that people are trying out. Like, I've seen some CES like videos and like IGN covering this phone that's like bendable and you can move and wear as a watch. But I mean, that technology already exists. So got kind of redundant, but it's kind of cool. Like, what if you just project a little light on your skin and you can text and play video games and like Flappy Bird, or write out your resume while you're at your current job, that kind of thing.
How would you protect it onto your skin though? Do you think it'd be like
Google
Glasses?
Because it's light, right?
You like Cyclops it right onto your skin. You're like, all right, let's do the typing now, and then that kind of stuff. Or
it still seems like that type of thing to work like we are imagining it would work would be a lot longer before they have something like that going.
Yeah, I true, but just thinking about it makes me super hyped. It's like, it would probably be like a bracelet where the light's projected onto like a piece of like plexiglass or something, and then you just you type onto
I think
it.
they've already had certain things like that as well.
Yeah.
So I think the eventual goal would be to be able to like take documents out of the air like they did in Avatar and other things. Just like, oh, I want this little bit of information, move it over here. Like, I really like that interpretation of the light keyboard, so to speak.
The hologram / augmented reality computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also kind of like Microsoft's HoloLens. Like I said, there's a lot of people doing this kind of stuff right now. But what I want is I just want fucking like tech implants. I want like a fucking wrist thing embedded in my fucking arm that I can just play around with. That'd be sick.
That would be pretty fucking cool.
It would scare me for accidentally damaging it and then it working, but like it starts going haywire, it starts having a glitch, like you start hallucinating because your like robotic eye is not the fanciest of eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, my is gonna be fancy.
Gold
You're
plated.
only gonna buy the top grade.
Oh, it's gonna be fancy.
Water coolant, platinum
gonna-
plated
Yeah.
eyeballs.
People are gonna be like, "So you think you're fancy?" And I'll be like, "I know it."
Yeah.
Just
I spent 10 G's on my eyes. That's crazy. So, just to break down to some of the newer folks in our audience, or people who may not have heard of you in particular, Chris, could you just give us a rundown of what you do on the internet and, like, how we met and that kind of thing? How you're the love of my life?
Well,
I'll never forgive anyone who tries to go out
I
with
mean,
you.
I can
Yeah, all right.
answer some of those questions.
Chris, let me stop you right there real quick. This is why you never put your dick in crazy. Zach just threw it out there right at you.
Look, man, don't worry about it.
Zach's example A, B, C, and D.
Well, I mean, I already knew that. I mean, he goes all the way to Z. That's why his name's Zach. He's
Yeah,
example
exactly.
That's a
Z.
good point.
Example
Good
Z.
point.
Yeah.
Precisely.
But yeah, how did we meet? I actually have no idea.
I think it was through Luke, and we started talking, and you talked about how you were an artist and you went to art school. It was
That's
either Luke
right.
or Mr. Wartburg, and I was extremely interested in that because you showed me your portfolio, and I'm like, this is really cool. This is a cool dude.
That's how it happened. And
yeah, that's how we met.
I think we were playing Halo too, if I remember correctly. I think we played some Halo.
You would,
'cause
yeah,
Halo's
we
awesome.
probably played some Halo. Yeah, Halo is awesome.
But yeah, I'm an artist. And
Mhm.
that's been apparent. I do like digital stuff. I went to school for game design. I really haven't done anything with that ever since I graduated, but you know, I went for it. And
yeah.
I did animation at school. Now I just do like concept art type stuff. And then
That's cool.
I've always been into gaming, always been into Rooster Teeth. I think that's a big reason how we got in touch with each other because we're all Rooster
Definitely.
Teeth fans.
It's like a unifying glue.
Oh yeah, it's the super glue of the internet, really.
Yeah.
I always thought that was porn.
Well,
That's
that's a different type
glue.
of sticky.
Yeah.
But yeah, also just started streaming recently. Trying to do that a lot. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I've joined in on a few of those streams. Like I love when you do like your Smite Sundays with the LBF gang, like Kamal and Cam and Luke. Those are normally very entertaining, and I also like how you set up your stream with like the Insano coins and like how you can earn certain rewards. So that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. You're an awesome dude, bro.
All right, this is a frat party now.
Yeah, it is.
Sweet.
And everyone's invited.
Everybody
except
get them
for
solo
Chaos.
cups.
It also sounds like Zach's gonna, based off the previous conversation, roofie you at the frat party.
I mean,
All right.
All right. I mean, is that out of character? Moving on, Jason.
All right.
How? So
Listen, I'm a straight shooter. I call him like I see him.
I appreciate
Zach,
you.
you're a rapist.
Oh my gosh!
Whoa!
Whoa! Whoa! Hey
And
now.
podcast over. That's all we needed to say during.
All right,
There we
and
go.
commercial break is over. Jason,
What's up?
I think we met through some mutual friend. No, maybe it was like the League of Legends forum on RT. Do you remember even how we met? Like, was it a mutual friend?
I mean, I think I hung out more in the TFT forum and the Oxford Cafe
Okay, that's how we met.
thing. So I think you guys probably started talking about League in the TFT forum, and I was like, I play League as well. Or I said this thread plays League as well.
Yes. And this, and
yeah. And then
yeah, and then these threads were pleased, and we play League, and then we just continuously disappoint you every time we play League. But that's like on a separate note. So,
I mean, one of you disappoints me just about every time.
I
Is it me?
mean,
Because I'm never
not
there.
to name names,
but it was me.
Zach.
Yeah, so yeah, it's awesome that we get to introduce you to our audience and be like, hey, these are people that we love to talk to. Chaos, no, I'm kidding. Everyone should know Chaos at this point, right? So did you guys hear about this whole Apple thing with like the federal government's like, we need the FBI, we need a backdoor into all your Apple communications and iOS and yada yada yada, and Apple's like, no, no.
Yeah.
My personal feelings on this topic in particular, it's like, I'm glad Apple's sticking up and like sticking to their guns, because even if in its purest form it's to help catch a bad guy, it is still too much power to be given. It's like the whole Fine Brothers React thing. It's like the main, other than the shit-eating grins and like the eye rolling, one of the main reasons I feel like the internet got upset was because they were trying to trademark something and basically give them a tool of too much power, of too much authority. So
Isn't it at the same time, if Apple has complete control over everything they have,
well,
and no one else can change that?
Well, that's not the case. I mean, there are tools that Apple provides. There's information Apple provides, and what's funny is the FBI was literally given the password to the iCloud that they were trying to access to get all of the information from an Apple device or the Apple phone they retrieved from a terrorist or whatever, and they reset the password so they couldn't use the password that Apple gave to them. So the FBI is the one who made a mistake in that particular case, but in the end, Apple is forthcoming with how to get into their devices, and there's a lot of other ways where you can build like a virtual environment and hack the device that way. Like there's various tools you can use that take a little more time. It's just building an OS that has a backdoor for the FBI would be easier for them and more convenient. That's the argument right there that we're having currently.
It seems a little odd to purposely build in a way that other people that are not the government could access.
Well,
bingo. That's the main reason. It really doesn't have as much to do with giving the government this access. It's the fact that if they give the government this access, then that access now exists for people that aren't the government to figure out and try and hack, and that becomes more dangerous.
Yeah, that's where the danger is. Kyle, or Soundside, saying stuff in the chat.
Only true stuff.
Only true stuff. True enough. Chris, have you heard about this news, or do you care? Are you an Apple?
I don't.
Do you care about Apple?
I don't really care.
You didn't hear? You don't care? Both?
Both. Honestly.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of like government political stuff, and I just don't. I'm just not a part of any of that. Also, I don't have any Apple products aside from my iMac. So.
Okay, well the thing is,
but I mean, it does seem pretty invasive of privacy. It seems pretty invasive of privacy, honestly.
Yeah.
I guess I would probably side on the people's, because really you have a phone that should be like a personal thing. Like it's your own device. You should be able to use it how you please and all that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, we've seen how apparently secure sites like Snapchat can get like totally hacked, and it can make a humongous deal. If they open it up for the government to be able to get those things, the hacking will be like, okay, now there is a definite way to get into everybody's phone. People are going to be like, we're going to work on this until we can get it, and then everything's going to
exactly. And what my dad has told me with his experience as being a someone who works in the field of security for digital stuff is that in time, all hacking needs is time. Mm-hmm. Everything is hackable, just give it enough time. So that's definitely, I don't know. Like, I don't see why the FBI is pushing so hard and why this case is even in court right now, because it's just fucking stupid. Dumb. Sorry, I get heated.
It has its valid reasons. They're trying to catch murderers.
They're trying to catch murderers, terrorists, rapists, and all those other asshole people.
But it's like, right? It wasn't even... It was like they wanted a specific person's information that they were hunting at the time, right?
Right, but this
it's not like they're doing this, hey, we might need this in the future. It was, hey, we need this now.
But it's turned into that, though. Like, they want...
Right, it would then be a tool for it that they could use in the future as well.
Exactly.
But, I mean...
Yeah, I don't know.
I can understand the reason for it, because listen, there's always going to be a trade-off between security and freedom. So the freest person in the world is probably the least secure.
You're not wrong.
And probably in like the most danger at any one given time.
You're absolutely right.
Like the most secure person in the world is probably someone in a self-containment thing in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have zero freedom, but they're pretty fucking safe.
Yeah. So I guess it's just everything, moderation and everything in moderation kind of scenario. Yeah, that's fair. But, speaking of stuff that isn't dumb, Chicago did something super, super cool. And they decided to vote. It was a unanimous vote to make computer science a graduation.
That's surprising.
Requirement.
Unanimous?
Unanimous, yeah.
Huh.
Unanimously voted a graduation requirement for all high school students beginning the next year's freshman. Chicago public schools have become a national leader in computer science. Good job for you guys. Proud of you.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I'm surprised that's unanimous, considering they couldn't. Illinois couldn't even unanimously give gay people the right to get married. So it's interesting that they can unanimously come to a smart decision.
I think it's kind of just try to start the smartness.
Yeah, maybe
in a way, because of how universal computers are. Now you can finally force it upon, and it's not even getting that far into computers. Like it's just a basic. Probably just computer logic class is all they're really putting forward.
Which is still better than nothing, which most places have.
Yeah.
Because computer science is just a good class to have in general, even if it is, like you're saying, if it's just a basic logic class, not even an actual class teaching a legitimate language.
Like C++ or anything like that.
Yeah, because it just, it does it's a logic course. It teaches logic. It teaches people to think about the consequences of certain events that they put in motion and how to solve problems, thinking clearly and trying to figure out a solution to any given problem put in front of them. And I think that's a really important skill to have.
Definitely.
I mean, I might be biased considering I have a software engineering degree, but
I also think that the way that the world is moving forward, it's becoming way too technological for people to not take technological classes in school.
That's also true.
I mean, just in the past 10 years, I think they made it a curriculum thing. I think it's throughout most of the U.S., if not all of it, where it used to be, everybody has to learn handwriting and cursive and all this type of stuff, and now instead of that, people are taking typing courses every single time. It's
the smart thing.
Yeah, it's preparing the kids for actually what the future's going to be. You're not going to be sitting there handwriting out documents anymore. It's going to be you're typing everything up on the computer. So.
Yeah. Well, and I think even when I was in high school, which was a while ago. 8 years ago was my senior year.
Jesus.
I'm pretty sure that typing wasn't even a required course back then. It was an optional course, but I don't think it was a required course. I can't remember entirely. But yeah, so it'd be interesting to see if you're saying how most people are learning typing. If most people learn to program, will that lead to more interesting developments with just everyone knows how to program and programs their own little things on their own computers just for daily needs.
Oh, that'd be so
I think
cool.
That would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
The way of life, man. That'd be interesting.
To be hey, I want this. I need this to do something. I need to, for instance, I need to make a system that will automatically save this podcast under a certain folder, or automatically do something little simple things. You could. If you had this programming background knowledge, even simple classes, you could program that yourself and it would do it all for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's so dope. Sorry.
I mean, computers can do a lot, but they can only do as much as you tell them to do.
Yeah.
So if you don't tell it to do anything, it's really not going to be all that impressive. But if you program it to say, do this every time because I don't want to copy this into a folder and upload it to a website. I want just to click done and it do everything for me.
Is that possible right now, and can you teach me to do that?
I can, and I will not teach you to do that. Listen, it's hard to teach you anything in League. I'm not gonna go
I'm different
and
in
try
other
and
areas,
teach you
though.
something that's more complicated than League, which, believe me, programming is more complicated than
I'm
League.
different. I'll change, baby. I'll change.
Your first challenge:
You'll
solve
change.
Riot Spaghetti
You sound
Code.
like an abusive boyfriend. That's. You gonna buy me jewelry too? What's gonna happen here?
Maybe. I'll
No,
do what it
you'd be
takes.
surprised at the amount of stuff you can do with just programming. Like, I don't know, a few months ago there was a website where you could automatically enter yourself into a contest to win free CS:GO skins. So I wrote a program to, every time I had the opportunity, hit enter contest, enter contest, enter contest, enter contest.
Allegedly.
No, that's what I did. It didn't matter.
Okay.
There's people who have written programs to automatically enter them into contests in Twitter and win stuff through that, where they
man.
they search through stuff and find stuff. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if everyone learns how to program, anyone could do this kind of thing.
Which is too much power for certain people.
It really isn't.
It really isn't.
It really isn't. I'm talking about free contests. I mean, you can also use it for useful things as well, like I was talking about with setting up stuff for podcasts or.
That'd be so sick.
I mean, it can be creative too. Like computer
Yeah.
science. I mean, a lot of that is like it's programming. You can make games.
That's what it is, exactly. Yes.
You can make
Yeah,
games.
you can make games as well, right?
I mean, it's also a different way of looking at things. It offers a new perspective to people who, if you didn't know computers, you'd really think about it. Okay, what can I do? With computer science, you can make it. Okay, what can I make this machine do? What can I do to make the machine do something that I want to do that I can't do? So it's like it gives you more to think about. It gives you resources to solve problems, be creative, all this kind of stuff. It's not just one thing that it's going to let you do. It's going to let you do anything.
You could just about think about anything you do on a computer. You could write a program to do that for anything right now. If you think about what you do on a computer, you could write a program to do that for you.
That'd be so cool. Could I have it run a filter for like tech news and then highlight popular news stories and then copy and paste it into a document?
Yes.
Oh my god.
You could do literally all that.
Zach is going to end the podcast here, and he's going to go Google all of this stuff.
If you want to learn how to do stuff, there's lots of free websites that offer beginner courses.
There's also lynda.com.
Okay. All right. So lynda.com, I actually don't like it. I tried it for a programming course, and I don't know what the fuck this person did. And Mike is right, Zach. What you're thinking of is called RSS. You read an RSS feed and you can figure all that stuff out. But I mean, it's still programming. So lynda.com, I tried to take one of their programming courses. I signed up for a month and then I unsubscribed because the programming course was not good. So they did this thing where, for a programming course, when someone's like telling you, okay, write this, or this is what we're going to do. We're going to write out this code. And you're like, okay, and you try and follow it out, write out the code yourself with them. And I'm a pretty fast typer. I could not keep up. And I realized that it wasn't that the dude was going that fast. It was because whoever was editing the video was editing it so it like had him stay talking the entire time. So because if I actually just stopped and watched the video, I'd notice like all of a sudden it would cut and like he'd have a full line of code done because he just like he must have stopped talking or something. So they cut that part. But I need to keep up with the fucking code. I want to listen and keep up with the code.
Is the player at least like easily pausable, or does it like?
It is, but I mean, you know how frustrating it is every fucking line of code to go pause, play, pause, play, pause, play, pause, play.
It's also a lot harder to keep track of being able to switch in between.
Right.
Like, oh, I missed. I need to go back to line whatever.
Yeah, it's really difficult to stay focused on what they're talking about when you have to pause and write out a line of code every time. Like, it's not. Mm-hmm. It was not helpful. I would not suggest it for programming.
Logic Killer 1 asks, what language were you learning from Lynda?
I wasn't learning a language. I was learning C#, MVC, ASP.NET. I think it was MVC 5. Which it's just it's a newer, smarter way to write websites.
So just like a more simplistic way.
And Mike's right. W3 Schools is really good for simple HTML and web stuff. I've also taken free courses through Microsoft. There's some free courses through Microsoft.com. Otherwise, you can get better paid sites. I think are Plural site is a really good one. Luckily, I have a subscription to that from my work, so I don't have to actually pay for that one.
Yeah. I'm sure there's loads of free... It's the internet. There's loads of free options. Like,
I mean, free options, but you also want a good option.
very true. True.
Also, programming is also still one of the things where sometimes it might also be good just to fucking buy a book
Yeah.
of it and follow the book and actually read the book, because it's very complicated and it can be
I remember
tedious.
I remember
and
trying to
take
learn
it at,
C++.
maybe take it at your own take it at your own pace kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's good to like read a book, and a book will be more thorough about explaining things as well.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I
That's
think
how
the thing that I ran into with when I was first learning programming in my classes is just every time I get close to finishing a program, well, there's that one code line that I messed up back on line 3,
Right.
but it just says, sorry, there's an error.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that depends on that's very
Yeah,
dependent on
yeah.
A, what type of error you're having, B, what IDE you're using. Like for instance, I always like to say the simplest problems take the longest to figure out the solution to. So, like, you could have a problem that you forgot to end a line of code with a fucking semicolon. And you might not realize that that is your error because the error message is really complicated. And there's other stuff where it's like a really complicated error that's easy to fix because the message is really helpful. So it's really dependent on a lot of things. I mean, I use Visual Studio every day, and that's generally pretty good. That's just Microsoft's IDE for programming.
Cool. So,
Yeah.
have you guys recently been to Facebook at all?
I mean, I go
Not
on
really.
Facebook,
Not
but I don't really use it for much.
So,
I go on it, scroll through it, see a bunch of random
That's
crap,
pretty much
and then
it.
I'm like, why am I on here still?
Yep.
And then I close it.
I feel like it's just a hard drug habit. You can never really kick it until you do. What basically the new thing about Facebook is it updated its like status or emoji status. Like if you hover over the like button and don't click it, you can like it, love it, hey, haha, or laugh at it. Whoa, sad or angry face.
Can I just
So
have like or dislike? I just needed the dislike. I didn't need more versions of like.
No,
Yeah,
you
I
need more
think-
version of like. Rooster Teeth side has showed us you need more versions of like.
Oh, I'm sure.
like and dislike. They have zing or what the fuck and stuff like that.
Because
though,
we all know
so-
the new Rooster Teeth site is the home for all great things.
Yeah,
That's true.
but
yeah.
so it's kind of weird. Like I feel like what Facebook released in their official statement was that they've done testing with these emojis or a range of feelings, and that they found that this to be the best solution because they didn't want the negative stigma of disliking something. They don't want people to they don't want to make Facebook quote unquote a negative environment.
Doesn't it seem to already be that?
Yeah, it's already a negative environment if you ask
They're
me.
trying to denegatize the internet.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I understand the reason for adding the other things, because there would be stuff like, a family member just died, and you
Angry.
You like the
want to
post.
show support
Dislike.
instead of commenting, and you just hit like. But I mean, it doesn't make sense in that instance. But you would think, okay, a person could just write a fucking comment to express themselves instead of hitting
Yeah.
a fucking button like a fucking soulless bastard.
Yeah.
But weren't we just talking about we all want to just press a button to make everything easier on the computer?
That's true, but I'm saying you could write a comment.
But I just want to
About-
press a button.
I'm talking about yeah.
To write the
I'm talking
comment
about
for
something to
me.
make it easier for your personal life, not a way to make it easier for you to interact with people on a daily basis. Not because you like hate the outside world and want to talk to absolutely no one, so you just want to interact with buttons and emojis. That was not what I was talking about.
the program would be so that you could use these comment systems and browse in between, like Facebook, like pull it up, and then you're automatically on Twitter. It's like a UI for your social media and things like that. That's where the programming would come in handy.
Yeah, well,
yeah, just doing tasks or yeah. Yes, you could also write a program to write a comment. You can absolutely do that.
And then it like filters based on what words are in the post, so you can like just randomly build like a random generator of comment, like 16 or 17 predetermined comments, and just shoot one out based on like, I had a sad day. Oh, I'm sorry, or like, that sucks, kind of thing.
Listen, if in the future we've already devolved from no one wants to call anyone anymore. In the future, if it devolves into only people don't even fucking write words in text, they just fucking send emojis.
That's what it
I
is
will
already.
kill myself.
I mean, our
will
word
do
of
it.
the year last year was an emoji.
No!
Who decided that? Who decided that?
The people.
Fuck them.
Okay, no, on what? Was this like a survey on what and what site?
Lynch mobs are outdated. Let's bring them back.
Lynch mobs are outdated. Let's bring them back. See when
Oxford
2016.
Dictionary gave which emoji was it? It was the laughing.
They added an emoji to the dictionary?
Crying
Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't know.
It was the
Face
laughing
with
while
tears
crying
of
one?
joy emoji was the word of the year in
Jesus.
2015.
Jesus H. Christ.
I
That's
was-
not a word.
I know.
It's a picture, man.
I know. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, at a certain point, I'm thinking we'll be able to grow to a point where...
Well, I like the thing that it's as much as Skype has not the most brilliant of programs. I really like the addition of the like little animated GIFs, if you can even call them that. Yeah, like from
from
random
the movies and stuff,
shows.
and TV shows. That's cool. I don't want. If I start talking to you and you only respond in that chaos,
No,
I will
not for
block
only
you
responses,
immediately.
but
We will be done.
it's just to be silly.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't want it to be only those responses. Like it's fine for every once in a while, but if it devolves, like we've already devolved into no one calls each other anymore, which is really frustrating because it's faster sometimes to have a conversation than it is to text back and forth for an hour. If I say if I need to call you to set up plans for something, that's way faster than going back and forth through text for half an hour. Otherwise, it takes a 2-minute
and also
conversation.
there's less room for like mistranslation of text. Like I don't know how you wrote that, so I'm gonna read it like 3 or 4 different ways based on like happy, angry, or sad. And there's also like a variation, like what if I feel angry and I just interpret everything, attacking me because I'm angry right now. Like, it's just easier to hear someone's voice and be like, oh, they're calm and they're happy and whatever. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's true. And really, all speech is it's a way to get across your thoughts, which are already very complex. And because of how I don't know why, but I've been thinking about this a lot recently, is that at a certain point, once humanity, if we can somehow just send our direct thoughts to people, then they'll know exactly what you mean all the time. The reason people get confused by why you say things is because you have to say them with these words, and they're clumsy and they're retarded, and it doesn't always get across exactly what you mean because there's the filter of your mouth and then the filter of the other person's ears or eyes in text form, whatever. So, I don't know. We have to all send thoughts.
To fuck each other. That'd be great.
I don't know if you want to receive Zach's thoughts though,
dude. And there's like that's the problem with like that kind of idea is like my concern is.
I think you're just calling you dumb, not that it was
I'm gonna take it a step further. That's fine. I'm gonna take it a step further.
You were saying you had no thoughts.
There are some thought experiments I have in my head that I would never enact or even consider.
Oh, not being able to have a proper filter on the thoughts you send out.
Yeah, that's the concern with that type of technology is what if it goes wrong and just sends out unfiltered thoughts? Like, there has to be...
Are you afraid that everyone's gonna figure out
I'm not a racist.
What a
Just how
racist
fucked
you
up
are, Zach?
I mean, everyone's fucked up in one way or another. I just don't want them to know.
Uh-huh.
No, you listen to No Zach's thoughts, and it's just playing like elevator music.
I would love the shit out of that.
Dun, 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 dun,
Da,
dun,
da, da,
dun.
da. One more time. Da, 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 da. And it's just like that on repeat. And they use my thoughts to drive people crazy. It turns into a military weapon. That could be a movie, right?
Listen, I can block you from my thoughts. If I have that, I mean, it's still going to be a two-way transaction. If I don't want to receive your thoughts, I'm not going to receive your thoughts.
We'll get there eventually, right?
You have to buy a thought blocking program.
No, it'll be the exact same thing. It'll be you're receiving thoughts from Zach. Do you want to accept these thoughts? And I'll be like, no.
Block any further thoughts from Zach.
We'll get there. But that's just. I mean, Facebook, man. You hate it. You love. Do any of you guys still like Facebook? Am I in the minority when it comes to this?
I've never used it beyond like just putting myself to establish an account.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've really used it recently. Actually used it, other than opening it, looking at it, and then being like, "This is retarded," and closing it.
I think I use more. I use Facebook more now because I have so many friends who have Facebook pages, like cosplayers, streamers, let's players, that kind of thing. Where I have friends who do stuff creatively online, and Facebook's just an easy way of me accessing that content.
Mm-hmm. I think the thing is, for me, I might have used Facebook, but the RT at the time, all the benefits that come from Facebook, I had on RT, except the RT community was a more concentrated version of, gamers and people that had the similar likes to me than Facebook is just general Facebook.
I mean, I use Facebook right now because I'm part of a Smite Xbox and a Smite PS4 group, and I like to keep up with people who are on there. Like, because there are new people there, I like to give advice, all that kind of stuff. If anybody's looking to play, I'll play with them. But it's like, honestly, for anything else, like even just
you could create like that could be its own on its own.
Yeah, that could be its own website. But the ease of access of Facebook makes it easy. Yeah, but it's like that's all I use it for. I don't use it for the actual friends that I have.
Like. What if Twitter created groups?
Are you talking about like
groups? Would people? Huh?
No, like setting up a fan, kind of like a fan site that's just on Twitter.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, or setting up like a group or a fan, like if you were to replace. Because I currently think Twitter's probably more used than Facebook at the moment. Maybe I'm wrong. But I feel like Twitter has more momentum than Facebook currently, even though I really don't use Twitter because I'm lazy. But if, say, there existed a thing like Chris was saying, like he has this Smite group that he checks to see if anyone in that Smite group want to play, or whatever. If they had that same exact group in Twitter, would he go to Facebook for that still?
I don't know. I feel like I would go to both, honestly. I'd go to both because they're different communities.
It depends on how much I want to say to someone if I have to talk to them in text form at that point. Yeah, because of the literal character restrictions, sometimes you want to be able to say a little bit more, but you can't exactly open up a call with them.
Messages don't have character limits, as far as I remember. Like when you're messaging, just PMing each other, and if they...
Yeah, I think it's more than 140.
Private messages still have the character limits. I know because I was just messaging someone else a little bit before.
I mean, maybe. It's just we already have Skype, like.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm saying if there was
also Skype exists, right?
There's a situation where you want to say more.
But I mean, it's kind of like you're asking.
Twitter.
Would you go to a site if it was on this site or a different site? And it's like there are so many different platforms that. I mean, there's Imgur and there's Tumblr and there's Twitter and there's Facebook and I mean there was MySpace and all these social media sites.
I mean, I was just using the Twitter example because it's pretty much exactly what Facebook used to be, except they don't have groups. and I was assuming
Okay.
that Twitter was more popular.
fair
So
enough.
that was the only reason why I brought that up. I'm not saying like, would you still go on Instagram if all the Imager stuff was on Insta? Like, I mean, obviously,
Right.
if you took away everything from the one,
Yeah.
there would be no reason to go to it. But I'm just saying, like, to me, Facebook has no
Other
purpose.
than to get pissed off at your friends and family.
Essentially, because I think I would think at this point other social media platforms are
Here's what I think. I think Facebook is more like a family type social media, whereas Twitter is more of a friends and kind of like celebrity social media, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, friends and celebrity interaction. They're more likely to respond
Yeah.
to a casual tweet than
Yeah.
something on Facebook, it
Fair enough.
seems.
Yeah, I mean,
You could and the lots of filters that exist already through both Twitter itself and then other means, like being able to search through hashtags, and like they use that for donation streams and questions and all
Yeah.
sorts of other shows that people
have
like
you
to put
recently
on.
seen any of the announcements on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook for the new Pokemon Sun and Moon series?
The first announcement I actually saw was a League of Legends like parody of it with Diana
That's
and
the
Leona
best.
on the cover of the Pokemon case, and I was like, "Wait, is this actually a
Oh, I
thing?"
saw that too. That was a cool picture.
So I didn't know that it was actually a new game that was coming out until I saw the pictures again in different places. I thought someone just made that up as a League parody.
What sucks is like that's all they've released as the name. Like I want to know like
So they just threw out the name and said, "Hey, we're gonna make this game." But they
yeah,
haven't
it's
said
kind of a
anything else
teaser
about
because
it.
they have a lot. Like there was a leak, like talking about all these games that are come out for the NX, which is their new console, quote unquote. It's like a very vague leak, but some of the information that they've already given out has been correct. So it's like it's kind of like canon when it comes or valid when it comes to information. So they have this thing called Pokemon Rainbow that they're going to release for either the NX or the 3DS. They've already previously released like Pokemon Red, Yellow, and Blue, I think on the digital console side of the 3DS
Yeah, I feel like
and the
they
Wii
did.
U. I'm not sure if it's on the Wii U, but I know for a fact it's on the 3DS. But Pokemon Moon and Sun will probably be a sequel to Pokemon, which it goes Pokemon X and Y, and then chronologically story based, it would go Sun and Moon, because Omega Sapphire and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were just remakes of a Gen 3.
Right? Is there
Well,
a
it's not-
chronological story?
It doesn't seem to be, but some games are. The only chronological aspect is sometimes a game is a remake of a game that's already been established, and sometimes
Yeah, I mean,
isn't.
other than a remake, obviously. But I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like,
chronologically
I don't.
based on Pokemon
almost-
being released. So like Kefklee and Fairy type Pokemon are in
Right,
the
but
future.
right, but there's
Yeah,
not like a
it's-
consistent story that transcends
That is
all
correct.
the
There's
Pokemon.
not a consistent story.
I mean, I've played up till Silver, so I kind of know my stuff.
I played like a little bit of like Red, and then I played the shit out of Leaf Green. Went into Ruby, then so I went from like Gen 1 remake, Gen 3, and then like I want to say Diamond, then 5th generation X and Y, and with the remake I'm current with Pokemon. But I skipped like Gen 2, but I watched the cartoons, so like I know which Pokemons are which Pokemons. No, not I
You still
did
watch the
watch the
cartoons?
cartoons, and I mean I might from time to time.
The cartoons, even if you wanted to keep up with them, they've like given up on writing
Yeah.
them properly, it seems. So even for whatever plot and stuff they had early on, that was actually getting better towards certain parts of the season. It just was like, what is even going on?
I don't think I've ever analyzed the plot.
Oh yeah,
of
it's not
Pokemon.
a big thing to analyze, but it was a lot better to watch.
Yeah,
Just
I
want to
say up to
and
Gen
now it
3 of
just doesn't
Pokemon.
make as much sense at
The
all.
Pokemon cartoon was actually pretty good.
The only thing I really remember from the Pokemon TV show was Charizard doesn't listen to nobody, and Brock is
Yeah.
a goddamn horn dog, and literally just tries to get his dick
At every
wet
chance
every
he
town he
has the
goes to.
opportunity to talk up some female, he's there.
Legit, he lived with like 18 brothers and sisters, and all he's trying to do is have more kids.
Yeah.
Is what Brock is doing.
The evolutionary instinct to mate is very strong in Brock.
It definitely is. There's a reason. There is a
Oh,
reason he
my.
was the Rock gym leader.
Wait,
That was a penis
really?
joke, everyone.
It was a solid penis joke.
All right.
It was a rock hard penis joke.
It's, how many layers?
He's
Brock
a new
used
Pokemon.
Rock Smash.
Yeah.
Brock used Harden. Brock used Harden. Have you seen? Okay, hold on. I gotta go on a brief tangent. Have you seen where people they'll they'll like capture a fucking Caterpie, name it like penis or something, and then you see a series of screenshots where it's just it'll evolve into a Metapod, and it'll do penis use Harden, penis use Harden, penis use Harden, and then it end with penis use string shot.
I have not.
I swear I've
seen
seen, like,
those, and now I
18 of
feel
those
like
different
I've been
things.
deprived of the dankest of internet memes.
They're pretty funny. I'm surprised. You see a lot of things like that, a lot of video game stuff where like people like change. Anytime you can create a custom name that you can lead into a funny joke,
Yeah.
I see a lot of those stuff with Legend of Zelda all the time too. Saying Link's name is like Bend Over something, and then there's like one specific point where someone's talking to him and it tells him to like bend over and do something, and it's like taken way out of context all of a sudden.
Yeah, one of my favorites is with the way that Game Grumps did their Pokemon name, which was just fuck, comma I. So every NPC would just be like suddenly surprised at what
Fuck.
they were
I
saying. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So I mean that's always cool. Pokemon. I'm looking forward to the next generation, but I want to upgrade my 3DS because I have the small one and it's not the XL.
I just I
No.
hope they.
Oh, you don't have the XL?
It's actually a good game for
Dude,
a
all of-
Pokemon game because
Do you like Pokemon? They're all the fucking same, man. I mean,
well, it felt.
the formula hasn't really
Except for
changed
now the
that much
Pokemon
over the
are
years.
animated and they do stuff when you use an attack, so you don't have to imagine what's happening.
Yeah, but you get bored of that after an hour and a half. You turn it off. It was the same way with Fire Emblem. Like, after a while, you're like,
Sometimes.
okay, these animations are done.
I'll turn them
I'm
back
done with
on
them.
for like a boss battle or a gem fight, but not all the time. It's just, man, I just love Pokemon. All right, don't.
Well, no, the Pokemon started like from you Fire Red moving into Diamond. It just depends on like where you started it, and just how many different games you've actually played in the
I
series.
think around 6 games out of how many ever games there are. Yeah.
Pretty sure I played a total of 3.
I think I've played
And that was
all
the
of them.
enough.
first 2 gens.
I've played some of the other ones, but I've never finished them. It's not
Okay.
bad.
Aren't you
I
streaming,
was streaming
Emerald
Sapphire,
right now
but
on
I haven't-
Twitch?
Streamed it in a little bit.
Oh, Sapphire?
I got an emulator on my Mac,
How are
I
you
just
streaming
haven't
that?
played
Did you have a capture card or an emulator?
but I do own the game, legitimate.
Right, that makes sense.
It makes it not as bad.
Yeah.
Good.
That's fine. I wasn't gonna judge you.
Have you heard of
Thief.
Would
Would you download a car? Would you?
No.
No, that's dumb. Unless it was 3D printed. Hey, can you 3D print a car? Has that been done yet?
They've 3D
A car
printed
that
guns.
works.
I don't know if a working car has been done
Yeah.
because they had to print. A working gun has been 3D printed. Because I mean, a 3D printer obviously uses plastics, so it'd be difficult. I'm pretty sure that gun was like a one-shot use gun, and then it'd be broken. But like 3D printing a car, Mike's saying it has been done. I don't know if it's a working car. You might need to provide a link to that Mr. Pradena. Message it to me in Skype, and I'll double check. Because I can't imagine a working car with an engine would work. Because, I mean, if they might be able to do the frame. I don't think they could do
No,
working
I don't
engine.
believe him.
This
I
guy's
don't
an
believe
asshole.
him. Where's
What
the
a
link?
liar! What a liar!
Pixar didn't
Don't
happen.
believe him for 1 second. He's a giant fucking troll. Giant troll. This is a giant troll. I don't believe him for 1
Watch
second.
it be an Onion
Oh,
article
man.
that he puts in.
Because I can't.
Yeah, exactly. Just post an Onion article.
Yeah, right.
I mean, maybe if they use like aluminum, like as the ink, quote unquote ink, because they have done that for
Yeah.
3D printers.
But it's a 3D printer. How do you use aluminum in a 3D printer? Like liquid aluminum?
I don't.
They
I'm
then
just.
have
I'm just
to-
theory
How does that work?
crafting here, Jason. No. Well, I mean, they do it for food. They basically just use like food products, like to make a pizza. They'll use like they'll have the dough, and then they'll have the everything else that you put in on a pizza, and then it makes a pizza.
Yeah, but I mean that's to
Look,
making
I
a
know
pizza,
it's-
like that's
I
not,
know it's
that's not the
fundamentally
same as a
different.
car. There's like 1 or 2 different things that go into making a car.
Just one or two
that are a
things.
little different than a
Pepperoni's
pizza.
the same, but
If someone cooks a pizza, you're like, that's cool. If someone builds a car by hand, you're like, how
fair
the
enough.
fuck did you do that? There's different levels that I don't think you're quite grasping.
I mean, yeah.
Hold on, he
He
made something.
He made
I don't.
this. Did he make this website? That would be the ultimate troll to just somehow make a website in less than 30 seconds.
Listen, this is all designer stuff. I don't see an actual. I think this is
Yeah,
like
it's
just
just
theory
theory
crafting and shit.
crafting.
I don't see an actual thing.
An auto show like 2 or 3 years ago. Looking for more links. So stay tuned for the 3D printed car. I'm sure like you can print out the frame
can.
and like the steering wheel and some other stuff, but the whole entire car, like some of it needs to be like carbon fiber mixed with aluminum and varying other like elements and metals.
So here they said they used 80% plastic and 20%
Carbon fiber is
carbon
actually
fiber.
like if you condense it, it's super like it's almost iron, like with its strength. So I don't see it not
Interesting.
being impossible because my dad has like a throwing knife made out of carbon fiber, and if he throws it hard enough, it gets stuck in a tree. So and it's like really hard to break. So it's not.
Is this code for help?
the next
use the
time we
tree?
see Zach, he's got like
People.
If he throws a
Oh
knife hard
my
enough, he sticks at me.
Hashtag save Zach.
Somebody save me!
The party has arrived, says Mintastic Berry. Mintastic Berry. Mintastic.
Fantastic.
Is that even
berry.
a word?
it's actually the word of the year according
Is
to
it a
Oxford
minty
Dictionary.
thing that's
I
fantastic?
think so.
Yeah.
It's a username. You don't need it. You don't
Yeah,
need your
fair
username
enough.
to have actual words.
For mine example, Zap45 on like everything except for Twitch now because Twitch decided to get hacked.
Stupid Twitch.
Yeah, it decided. It's like
Twitch
it woke
decided?
up one day and it's like, you know what? I don't have really any security whatsoever. I guess I'm gonna get hacked today. Well, I mean,
I've
it
never
was that
been
whole
hacked by Twitch.
debacle.
By Twitch.
It was that whole debacle where Twitch got hacked and a whole bunch of things were changed. Everyone had to change their password if you got an email. I got one of those
Yeah.
emails. Fun fact.
Yeah. So I changed my email. I didn't have to change my
No,
username.
you have to change your
I'm still
password. But
C190
I
on
I
Twitch.
logged in via Facebook, so my account
Oh.
was gone forever
Yeah.
because it was
Well,
convenient.
why would you log into Facebook? See,
No,
you're
it's
you're
convenient,
causing
man.
problems for yourself by
Easy.
doing that. It uses electric
motor.
motor.
Okay.
3D
So-
printed.
I don't think that. So then the motor isn't. I don't think the motor can be. That's the thing I was saying. I don't think the motor can
I
be
mean, maybe if it was
3D printed,
yeah.
even if it's an electric motor.
Yeah,
'Cause you
heat-
can't
the heat
print a
itself-
battery.
Yeah, because you need the lithium or the whatever that's in the battery, the battery acid, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. There's acid. I don't think you can.
Unless,
I don't think
unless
you can
you
3D
have an
print the
ink
battery.
cartridge that has the battery acid in it.
Yeah, you just have to just add the acid cartridge to
Exactly.
I mean, honestly, if
Jesus.
it's like
I feel like if they can make a working phone in Minecraft, then I feel like 3D printing a car is just around the corner.
It's just the next step.
Oh yeah, I haven't. I've heard of that. I haven't seen the video of them actually activating that.
It's pretty cool. Captain Sparkles has a really
Check it out,
good
then.
video. But like he does like a Skype
That's so
chat
weird.
on Minecraft through the
What?
Minecraft phone
It's all like
with
it's like
video.
pixelated.
It's
Oh,
incredible.
That is dope.
Yeah, it's freaking crazy how
Hmm.
insanely good it is.
And if you think they spend that much time doing that Minecraft, it'd probably
Yeah.
be easier to actually program that.
But
Probably.
Just because how the Minecraft and the redstone works, it works just like a actual computer with the redstone. Those are all just bits, ones and zeros. So
Yeah.
anything you program in Minecraft is way harder currently than programming in a real life language.
Well, it's a good way to start off if you just wanted to. It's like
I
integrate
think it's overcomplicating things. I don't know if
I'm
it's a good
talking
way
about
to start off.
doing basic machines while also playing a game, and then or basic programs while also doing a game. Like I've seen someone do a calculator, like things like that. And then when you actually start programming, you already have the principles down. And you'll be
intro
really good
to
at them at that
programming, Minecraft.
point. Yeah, intro to programming. Here's some Minecraft machines we want you to build.
Okay, so Perdenia on Twitch, or Mike, says that there are industrial 3D printers for metal, though. Printles.
Printles.
It still does not do the battery acid
don't
part.
have
It
the
doesn't
acid
solve that
cartridge.
problem. I'm
Yeah.
just saying you can't 100% do it. Can you do most of it? Probably.
Like
Can you
90%.
100%
No, the
do it?
airbag's kind of. I don't think that'll be a thing. Just to block it.
Electric air? What the fuck?
Electric air.
Those
Air
airbags will just
cars?
kill you.
What are you? Are you high right
What is-
now?
what is
Daniela,
air car-
Are you okay?
What, Daniel?
She's
She's
high
high
on
on
electric
electric
air.
What's wrong with you? Here, let me continue. Let me continue this thought process. Fire, water, earth,
Yeah. Heart.
air, or is it wind? Sorry, wind, and heart.
Oh, I thought-
Play any-
And then you have the Captain Planet
Dude,
car,
I
and
thought
you're
we were
done.
going for Avatar here. Darn it.
No, I realized halfway through typing that's where it was going because I also used that
Yeah, Captain
that
Planet,
tone,
he's a
and then I'm
hero.
like, no, let's bring it back to Captain Planet. I'm old school. Let's bring it back to Captain
The
Planet.
main reason I watched that show was because of the theme song or the intro, just so I can listen to it.
Well, there's a few shows that I've watched that it was I sit through the intro rather than like jamming skip because I just like how it's all brought together.
Yeah. So
This would be a pretty good
yeah,
intro.
I
do
love
that.
Captain Planet. I mean, not as much as I used to, but I love Captain Planet. As a
I
kid.
haven't seen I think that's one of those things that I kind of want to see what the episodes are like now because the last time I saw it, I can't even remember.
I can remember one episode where it's like they were talking about premarital sex. And,
What, really?
Yeah, and it's like, this is why having too many babies is a bad thing. And it's like the dude with the fire ring hooked up with the chick with the wind ring, I think.
That sounds
No,
fake
it's not
and maybe
fake. It's
abridged.
real. It's on TV. I promise.
Oh no.
And
I'm
and
gonna
it was
look up
like,
this
he had 6
episode
kids.
and see.
I will look it up later.
This is not going to turn the podcast where you need to
Yeah.
back your shit up with proof. I ain't having none of
I'll
this.
try to Google it. How should I type it?
Oh,
I don't know. You have to be careful at this point because you're talking about two of the characters hooking up. You're just going to get fucking Captain Planet
I'm
Rule
not
34
gonna-
Oh
at this
no.
point.
Captain Planet
he's a hero.
PSA.
They're going to save the planet via a giant orgy. That's what
I
you're going to
mean,
find.
If
See
you're
if
gonna
that's
have
a
to save
thing.
the planet anyway.
Yeah, here it is. Small families. It's a 31-second clip. It was talking about the reason why you should have a small family.
It's
It's
okay. Is
kind-
it like
it
a
was-
Is
PSA?
it, is it like
whole
one of
theme
the?
of the
Is it like
episode.
those like ridiculous GI Joe PSA things that
No,
people
it was-
have made really awesome?
No, it's literally. It was the whole theme.
Oh yeah, so this is a PSA that they did at the end, like the same
Yeah.
thing like GI Joe does. This has nothing to do with the two
whole
people
episode.
hooking up.
This is the end show PSA of the episode. The whole episode was about this, and it was about the blonde and the redhead hooking up, and having loads of babies, and then him being miserable and him having to pay for everything.
That seems like a really weird episode.
Look, that's why I remember it. That's why, you guys doubted me about, like, the whole talking lizard with a white room. It was Henry the Lizard, People keep calling me crazy, and I'm not crazy.
Just a little bit insane.
Yeah, that's what the voices tell me. So, on that note, it's at the hour mark. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this bad boy up. Happy 151 podcasts. Can't wait to see some more. Also, Pokemon reference somewhere. Don't worry about it. Does anyone have anything they want to pimp? Because this podcast will come out on time for the first time in our history. We have it.
2 weeks later.
I'll pimp out my ditto.
Where's podcast 51?
No, you shut your whore mouth, Chris.
Nah.
We have 150 in the queue right now. That's going to be released tomorrow, probably.
Yeah, tomorrow because of the way iTunes wants me to put it up. But yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, so Chris, do you have any streams you want to promote? Any art you're going to do?
I stream. So there's my channel.
Where do you stream?
Which is Gamma Cruchador. GAMMAKORUCHADOR.
Oh.
It's like the mixture of Korean and luchador.
I'm going to...
And I'm doing an art stream tomorrow.
Awesome.
So
and here is that
come
channel
check
where you
that.
can check it out yourself in the chat. He does art streams, and it's a fun time. Jason, do you have anything you want to pimp or promote?
What are you gonna? Wait, hold on. What are you gonna draw tomorrow,
character
Chris?
that me and Zach have been working on.
Yeah. Oh, do you want me to
Uh-huh.
co-host and talk about the inspiration for the character, or?
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, look forward to that tomorrow.
Well,
Um,
it'll probably be a good long stream, so you don't have to stay there for all of it. but-
whenever you want me on. Man.
I
love how
hang up
this-
on you after you say, "This is my character."
Listen, Zach has nothing to do. Zach has
Yeah.
literally nothing to do.
He's
he can
not
be on there
wrong.
the entire
It's
time.
not wrong.
Okay.
Let me hold on. I'm not Zach's secretary, but let me look at his calendar.
Oh, good.
He's free.
Sweet. Good job.
That
Jason,
unemployed calendar rolling well.
yeah, Jason, do you have anything that you want to
Yeah.
promote or pimp out?
I don't know. I guess I'm probably gonna put up some instructional League of Legends videos that have been inspired
With
due to my
us.
frustrations
So
with people.
type in C190 on YouTube.
so-
I mean,
yeah,
us
so
might
do-
be a strong word.
Yeah, C190 on YouTube.
C190.
No, I said
Did you say
us
frustrations
might
in
be
a
a
strong
strong
word?
word.
Oh, don't you? No, fuck you. You do plenty. You do plenty. Don't pin all of his angst and frustration on me.
We'll see. I got a couple ideas.
Awesome. I'm looking
that I'll probably
forward to
do.
it. Chaos. Anything you want to promote / pimp out?
Well, we're going to be doing next Monday. We're recording a TFT Talks Undertale with the voice actor Timber Puppers.
And his work is solid.
Well, he's
What is he the voice
he's
actor
a
of?
cartoon voice actor who's done specifically a lot of different popular Undertale covers and things
Yeah,
like that
'cause
of the different
basically-
scenes.
Yeah, basically,
So he did some of the.
Yes,
Wait, did he do the Undertale
a
ones?
lot of different Undertale ones. He's most
Undertale
known
doesn't
for
have
doing
any voice
Sans.
acting to begin with, so he
Yes.
so he
Oh,
applies
right, it's all
his
text.
voice
Okay.
acting skills, which he has many.
So, do you know any specific thing that he's done that is popular? That you
Well,
can...
it's talking
so people
about
know who he is?
the Undertale specifically, and he just completed a live stream where he basically did every male voice for the entire
Do
for
you
the
have a
entire
link for chat?
game.
Do you have a link for chat?
Yeah.
Do you have a link for... Okay, so while you're looking for that link, I'll go ahead and tell us being you guys, the audience, where you can find us all. You can find us on YouTube at TFT Productions and TFT Plays. We'll have our podcast be posted at TFT Productions, and we'll have loads of things like Random Adventures, Drunk League, and Sakura Spirit posted to TFT Plays. If you want an audio version of this podcast at your doorstep very fast, like Flash, go to iTunes and check out our whole entire archive. We also will be working on going to our site where you can talk about the podcast, talk to us about the podcast, or even ask to be in the podcast at www.theforumthread.com. And we also have a Facebook page, a Tumblr, an Instagram, and a Vine. Just looking up the forum thread will lead you to those things. Thank you so much for being a part of our audience, and I really, truly appreciate you guys sitting in with us and having a conversation with us as well, Chris and Jason.
Thank you.
And good
Bye.
night, everyone.